Well, hello everyone. This is Michelle Ann Titler and my political partner Gerry Gagnon on December 20th, 2024, still 2024. And this is our Christmas video to all of you to wish you a Merry Christmas in Canada and to talk about the news stories that are happening in end race-based law. And Gerry's moved. He doesn't live in my apartment anymore. He's way up north. No, well, not so far up, but he's on Vancouver Island.
Yep.
So, Gerry, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Yes, hello from the great Canadian wilderness.
Because, Gerry, remember when you talk, the camera goes on you. We can see each other, but
Home of the elk.
home of the elk. Yeah, he's in beautiful, beautiful land right
This
now.
is their territory, not mine.
Well, no one heard from us for a while because we were busy moving you. It was a lot of effort, and now you've settled in, and everything's great. And we're back, and race-based law is back. And Gerry's going to just start this particular segment, and we're going to do this quite often. Just filling in on some of the regular everyday news stories that are going on. We're going to do segments where he zooms in on just a particular story that's important, usually court cases and things like that. But this is just an in the news segment, and we're going to do a lot of those too. And at some point, we're doing live streams where you guys can all chime in as well. In the new year, we're doing that. He's all set up there for that. So take it over, Gerry. Let us know what's on your mind today. It's going to be a surprise to me. We like doing it that
Okay.
way so I can react authentically.
Okay, well, normally what I intend to do in this particular space is to touch on some news stories that we haven't covered on our websites that people might otherwise then not hear about. But because we've been away for a bit, I thought today I would catch people up with a few of the stories that we have posted recently. And since a new year is about to arrive, there are a few feature stories that we've been working on for the main page, and I'll do a teaser, as it were, of a few of those stories that we'll
And
be
when he
putting
says
out in the new
we,
year.
he means him. He does all the news stories. You're so sweet, Gerry.
Now, people are going to think I'm schizophrenic or split personality or
It's
something.
nice to give me credit where I don't have any.
Anyway, okay, so I'll start off with, first of all, getting rid of the frog in my throat.
Yeah. Where's your race-based law coffee cup?
Which of course only appears when we're recording.
Where is your end race-based law coffee cup, my friend?
Well, I've got just water. I should have put it in that cup. I'll remember next time.
Mm-hmm.
It's right over there, but I'm not going to leave the camera right now to get it. Now, one of the recent stories was entitled Aboriginal Industry Rewards an Ally. Now, a lot of you may remember Perry Bellegarde, who was the, of course, head honcho of the Assembly of, quote, First Nations, unquote, for a number of years, who pushed for the residential school agreements really, really hard, who also pushed the federal government and provincial governments really hard on instituting, first of all, legislating and then instituting UNDRIP, the UN Indigenous thing, as law in our country, law that will supersede our own national laws, this international law, Indigenous international law. And so Bellegarde, while he was head of the AFN, was a big pusher of that. Our next character in this story is David Lametti. You may remember him as the former justice minister, only as recently as months ago in the Trudeau cabinet. He's the justice minister who brought in the federal legislation to institute UNDRIP that has since passed. And he has now abandoned the sinking ship that is the Federal Liberal Party and resigned from politics. And lo and behold, he's now joined a law firm that also took in Perry Bellegarde. When he stepped down as AFN chief, the two are now rejoined in the Aboriginal Law Department of Fasken, which is Canada's largest law firm. And I'm sure they're making a pretty penny while they're at it. Now, this story, again, it has the basic story and the link to the news story, and then a well-written essay about the Aboriginal industry, because that's what we're talking about. This is the games that are going on that are personally rewarding for some people, not ordinary Aboriginals, but for some people. both Aboriginal and quote white. So that's one of the stories
No,
we
no, no,
tell.
sorry, I have to correction. In Canada, there are only two people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to correct you.
And then there was another one called Confronting Naivete, which is about how this woman's telling her story of how she became radicalized for the Aboriginal cause while attending a feminist conference years ago. And so I'll just leave you to read that one because it's got my comments interjected, as you might well imagine, with her telling of her tale of coming to awareness, as it were. Now, one that I will hope people will certainly check out. There's a post on the .ca site, the news story site called Voices from the Reserves, October 2024.
That's
There's a
endracebasedlaw.ca.
.ca. There's a larger post from the month before, the same idea on the main page, endracebasedlaw.com. And these are excerpts of people's social media comments. Aboriginals on Aboriginal pages discussing Aboriginal issues, venting their reserve people, venting their frustrations. And in both cases, I have gone through like a month's worth that I found all over
I
the
should go
place.
check out our website.
And it's just these comments. You can read them for yourself.
What a good
Now,
idea, Gerry.
I'll read you the intro though, because this is important, and I put it before both. Canadians never get to hear the voices of Aboriginal Reserve residents, only those of Aboriginal leadership and their academic and media allies. However, Aboriginal social media provides an avenue for their expression. Names have been omitted in order to protect them from the official reprisals that are the norm on far too many reserves. Now, I have the links. If anybody tries to claim this is made up stuff, no, I've kept the links, but I'm not going to expose these people because they're venting, like they are telling it like it is. And if Canadians want to really understand why reserves have to go, why this game is horrible and
You,
oppressive
Gerry. Good for
for
you.
the Aboriginal people, just read their own words. And like I say, Voices from the Reserves, there's one of each on each of the sites that you can check out.
Well,
Okay,
this
and
is
they're
a
set.
real surprise to me, Gerry, and way to go. I am so looking forward to this. Hit it, baby.
Well, I'm glad. Okay, and then one other is called Digging for Dollars. Now, all Canadians are aware by now of the mass graves that haven't been found and these diggings going on all across Canada looking for bones. Like, well, they're not digging in most cases. They say that's sacrilegious. So they're just looking for anomalies and then claiming they've found graves. Now, the federal government, when it first set up the financing for the grave searches, put a cap on the amount of money that you could get to do grave searches. Okay. And the cap was $3 million. Now that's $3 million per year. And that's not a fund that they take money out of. Each tribe who wants to do a grave search can get up to $3 million a year to go looking for anomalies. Now, the feds, I guess, got such, I don't know what feedback they got because they don't usually back off. But in this case, they announced they were putting a cap on it at $500,000 a year per tribe, right? Well, lo and behold, they did get blowback. And now they announced our immigrant Sri Lankan refugee minister of Aboriginal Affairs announced that the cap was being removed and it was back up to $3 million a year
Oh my
that
God.
each tribe was eligible for to go anomaly searching. So this again is
They're literally extortionists.
another post on the .ca page called Digging for Dollars. So those are three that are recent that you might want to check out. There are links as
Yeah,
always in our
Gerry,
post.
Gerry, please keep me up to date on our websites.
So there are links to all the news stories that are used, etc. in there, like always. And the other thing now that I wanted to talk about for a minute while I have the chance is the coming year. And I've been working, I've mainly been doing these news stories for a while now, and I'm going to do more of them in summaries, like in the news. We'll be doing these, and I won't be necessarily publishing a story on it. I'll just tell you what I found. I'll talk about it and we'll give you a link so you can go check yourself. That'll save me some time to focus on the big stories that we put on our features page, which has gotten neglected because the news stories never stop. And I could do that just full time.
Mhm.
But the ones that interest me more, I'll admit it, are the ones I turn into feature stories. And one of the feature stories we'll be doing, one of the news issues in Canada these days is foreign interference in Canada, foreign, especially in our politics. Okay. And there's nothing more political than the Aboriginal industry. And lo and behold, we find out that Ottawa has an intelligence review watchdog that goes by the initials NSICOP. And it's a parliamentary watchdog of intelligence, like it's like a Senate committee would be overseeing intelligence in the States, right? They've released a report saying that Beijing, Communist China, is targeting First Nations leaders with intelligence operations based on tourism, but that are aimed at securing Aboriginal controlled natural resources. So they have an ongoing program that these people have discovered to buy off, as it were, Aboriginal leadership in the long run. As the Aboriginals get control, like is happening in BC, as they get control of their own natural resources, then the Chinese who have already started a relationship with the chief and council can then just come in and offer to facilitate the
That's how they're
extraction of the
scooping up
resource.
land too.
So anyway, this story is a future story that you can read all the details of it in a main post that also includes, as a separate story, and I found it separately, the attempt of the Chinese to get inroads with the Inuit in the Arctic. Because, of course, the Chinese are competing with Russia now to push Canada out of the way in the Arctic Passage. And what better way to proceed than to be buddies with the Inuit leadership who are getting resource control of the Arctic? They are gradually getting resource control of the Arctic. So that's a feature post that'll be full of details. I promise it is, and it's almost completed. So it's it's
Well, let's
coming
get
up
back to the
shortly.
comments from the natives because I don't know how much time we've got left.
Oh, let me just do one more here
Okay, one more.
because I think this one's important.
Okay.
Uh, a Canadian court, in this case, the BC Court of Appeal, so it's the highest court in BC before the Supreme Court. Hopefully, this will go to the Supreme Court, but I doubt it. There was an Aboriginal who came from the States up to Canada and hunted and shot something, and he didn't have a license and he's not a Canadian citizen, and so he got busted. Well, so he went to court and he said, although he's not a Canadian citizen, his tribe in the States is part of what used to be a tribe in Canada, a tribe that's now gone extinct. And this is true. This tribe in Canada in the 1950s, the last member of this recognized band died off. And so the federal government declared the tribe extinct within the Canadian borders. This guy now claims, well, he's from a branch of that, what used to be that tribe, and they used to come up to Canada and hunt before the borders were imposed on them. And so our foolish courts have agreed with him. And they have announced, at least as far as BC is concerned, although the guy declares it as a national right, the BC court, that American Aboriginals who can show any previous historical connection, and of course, the U.S. tribes came up north in the summer to chase the buffalo and hunt,
Well,
etc. up
and
here.
they lie, so they'll just lie and say that they
And
did.
so they now have a right to come to Canada, just come to Canada when they want and hunt.
Okay, so these judges are very similar to the American judges too, that have been bought off the United Nations judges. I mean, our whole entire court system is politicized in favor of this one race. That's why we're
Well,
called end race-based law.
and this potentially undermines all our conservation efforts where species are concerned. If they can just come
These
up here
judges need to
anytime
be
and hunt.
arrested. They need to be arrested.
So I just wanted to get that one. So there's a feature story coming on that with the
Yeah.
background to that.
Okay, I'm glad
Okay.
you, yeah. Okay, so now we're at the comments.
Okay, sure. Comment.
No, you were going to read the Aboriginal Oh, you're saying that
Oh,
you aren't you? I thought you were going to read some of the comments.
I will gladly read you some of the
I thought you were
comments.
going to. Come on, you can't just let's go.
Let me see here. What have I got? Um, give me 1 second here. Voices from the reserves. Oh, yes, there was one actually here. Let me open it up. There was one I actually highlighted. It was a longer one. It sort of summarized all of these shorter frustrations on the page. Here we go. Quote, it's always the same families in power, and they steal and act like they're above the law. No one challenges them. They've been getting away with it for generations. Their children are now taking over, but all the usual people, which have been found to have stolen from us, are still working there at some capacity. It's disgusting. People are dropping like flies from addiction. We have a population of homeless on our one res. How the hell does that happen? We're supposed to be millionaires. Can't find anyone to help. With our new settlements coming, who's going to stop them from ripping us off? The ones who say something get bullied. Staff on reserve have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. They even cut power off to some houses. People don't get their social assistance or get ignored when they need something. To be honest, they ignore everyone who isn't part of their circle. Only family and friends get help, unquote.
This is what the world really needs to hear. And I just want to wish all the natives who are caught in all of this bullshit a very, very Merry Christmas. And you know what? We all got to come together and end race-based law. That's what this is all about. I mean, don't think we can't all see it. It's just the rest of the world is only hearing that one narrative. And it's the United Nations using these corrupt leaders to screw everybody. No one's going to win in the end except the UN. It's communism.
It's scary.
It's really scary. And Gerry, that really upset me. That almost made me
No, I
cry.
could, well, and
That's,
it should. I hope it upsets everyone who reads it. It should.
yeah. Well,
These
God
people are
bless.
trapped. These people are trapped.
They are.
And
And
we're,
there's nowhere for them.
no, no.
So that was a great, that was a great way to end the segment. And I really do care about the people that are caught in all this. I just want to, kick the proverbial crap out of this corrupt leadership and the judges and the whole law fair that's been going on. I mean, it's an entire industry of lawyers and lobbyists, and I mean, it's just they're sick. It's communism. And they've just used the natives to bring that into Canada. That's it. That's the end of the story there. And so we're going to be doing more videos. Gerry's all set up and settled in, and you look happy there, Gerry. And I'm really glad for you that you're settled in.
Yeah, the elk don't seem to mind me either. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for all that, Gerry, and thank you for all your hard work on race-based law. You are such a sensational researcher, and it's impeccable work. It
well,
really is.
it's important. I don't
It
know
is
what
really
else to say.
important, and we have to come together. We have every race in the world here in Canada, and we just need the natives to come on board, with all of us. Like, I know if we all stick together, we can beat it's us against the cabal, not us against each other.
Yeah, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and hope that for one day you and your loved ones can just experience some joy and nothing but joy.
Well
Merry
said.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Gerry. And well, I guess we'll be back in the new year, now that you're all set up.
Oh, well, I got stories galore coming here.
And we
I
really want to be regular now, every Friday for sure. And we really want to do live streams. So 2025 is going to be end race-based law year. Thank
okay.
you, everyone, for your participation. We're just trying to wake people
Mhm.
up. We really care about the natives and what they're going through. And I'm glad Gerry read that, because that's where it's at. And remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. And end race-based law. All right. And I think next time I'll see you is next year. Hey,
Okay.
thank you, Gerry. Thank you very much for your time and all your hard work.
You too, Michelle.
Okay. Cheerio,
Appreciate
buddy.
it. Okay.